Hey guys, and welcome back. Today we are going to create multiple spinners. So we are going to have two different spinners with different data set and the item that we are going to select in the first spinner, according to that data, the second spinner will be populated. So in this example, I'm going to use the names of the Indian states in the first spinner, and the second spinner is going to have the names of the districts according to the state that we select in the first spinner. Let's just select any random state, and then you can see according to that state the names of the districts are populated in the second spinner. Now we can select any of the districts, and if we click on the submit button, then we can see the name of the state which was selected as well as the name of the district. And also we have some sort of error handling, like if we have not selected the district and we just click on submit button, it's going to pop up a small error showing that the district is required. And if we have not selected any state and if we click on submit, then it's going to show that the state is required. Let's select any one state, and if we click on submit now the error part from the state spinner will vanish, and now the error is on the district spinner. So if we select any one district and then click on the submit, the error from the district spinner will also vanish and we'll have the name of the district as well as the state selected. So let's begin the coding, and I'm going to use the Android Studio. Just open it up and create a new project and then select empty activity, and then you can give any name to the project. I'm just going to write multiple spinner. Okay, we are in the main activity. And we can start by the layout. First, we have to create the text view as well as the spinners so that we can refer to them in our main activity .java. I'm going to use the relative layout. It's very easy to lay out the page using the relative layout. Anyways, I'm just going to quickly define text view so that we can display some text. I'm not going to get into detail of this, and I'm not going to use a string constant here. So instead of that, I'm going to use a string value resource, which means here I just have to reference the text which I'm going to save in the string.xml. And let me just remove these four lines. They are not required since we are using relative layout. Okay, let me check. Okay, let me add some margin. I'm just going to change layout width to match parent so that it gets the entire width available to it from the parent. Anyways, then I'll just quickly define one more text view. I'm just going to give it an ID so that this ID can be used for the layout purpose. In the same way, let me give the ID to the first text view. Then layout below is going to make sure that this text view is below the first text view. So we have to use the ID accordingly. Then I'll just quickly define it. All right. Let's add the text here. And I'm going to use the string.xml resource file for this as well. All right. Now let's define the spinner below this text view. Let's give it an ID. And this spinner is going to be used for displaying the list of the Indian states. And this spinner is going to be below the second text view, that is the text view underscore Indian underscore states. All right. Now we need to define one more text view for the districts. So let me just copy this text view and I'll quickly paste it and change the ID. As well as its position, that is, it should be below the spinner of Indian states. All right, then let me just copy this spinner and I'm going to paste it again so that we can define the second spinner, which is for the Indian districts. And I'll just make the changes accordingly. Then below that, I'm going to define one button so that we can display the selected state as well as that selected district using this button. Let us call it button underscore submit. All right, now let me give the text for the text view for the districts. All right, so our layout is complete. Now we need to start with the Java codes. So I'll just get into the main activity and we'll start by defining the string variables which are going to hold the value of the state which was selected from the spinner as well as the name of the district. Then I will define the text view. Because we cannot set the error messages in the spinner, so we will use the text view instead to display the error. And to use the text view, we'll have to import text view class. So I'll just click here and it will import. All right. As you can see, we are going to use the text view for displaying the error. Then let us define the spinner, and we are going to define two spinners, one for the state and one for the district. Then let me define the ArrayAdapter. Now this ArrayAdapter is an Android SDK class for like adapting an array of objects as a data source, which means this adapter will be the data source which we are going to use with the spinner to populate it to fill up the list of the items. So we are going to need two adapters, one for the state and one for the district, and we'll just declare it here. We are not going to define it. And let me just quickly import the respective classes. All right. Now let's try to run our app. So far, everything is looking good. Now we can start with the initialization of the spinner. First of all, we have to get the view of the spinner. So we are going to use find view by ID, and state spinner we have already defined. So we are just going to use the view. And make sure you use the correct ID that you have defined with the spinner. Here I have used spinner underscore Indian underscore states. So I'm using the same ID. Then let's populate the state spinner, because in any case the spinner of the state is going to have a fixed data set that is the data that we are going to use with the state spinner will not change. So we can just define it. So we'll use the state adapter, and then let's type ArrayAdapter dot create from resource this, then comma r dot array dot array underscore Indian underscore states, comma r dot layout dot spinner underscore layout. We will have to define the array as well as the layout for this adapter. So let's first define the array. So get into the folder values. Under this you will find one strings.xml resource file. Here you'll have to define a string hyphen array, then give it the name array underscore Indian underscore states. I'm just going to copy paste the names of the states since I have already written it, and you can also download the same from the link which is in the description of this video. All right. Now we'll have to define the layout. For that, get into the folder layout and then right click and create new layout resource file. Then you can give it the name spinner underscore layout. All right. Then let's open it and get rid of all this, and we'll start with text view. And I'll just quickly define one text view so that the same layout is used for the spinner. Just save it and restart the app. Still we have not populated the spinner, so nothing will be visible. And also let's just increase the size of the text in the text view. For that, just get into the activity main.xml. Now let's specify the layout which we are going to use when the list of choices appear. And then we can just simply populate the spinner using the adapter, that is the state adapter. Now restart your app. And you can see in the first spinner, you can have the list of the states. Now we have to define the second spinner, that is the spinner which corresponds to the district. And we have to populate the districts according to the state which was selected in the first spinner. So for that, we are going to use set on item selected listener. Then in bracket new space adapter view. And you hit enter and all of these default methods will be created. Now under the on item selected method, we are going to first retrieve the name of the state which was selected in the spinner. And under this, first of all, we will need to find the view of the district spinner. We are going to use it in the same way we did earlier. Then we will obtain the name of the state which was selected. So for that, we will use get selected item, then dot to string so that it is converted to string since selected state is a string variable. Then just let's define a parent ID integer variable. Then parent dot get ID so that we can get the ID of the parent. And the parent here is the state spinner. Then we will just use the if else statement to verify if the IDs are same or not. This is just for verification. Then under this, we are going to use the switch case and we will use the selected state here so that our switch case will work according to the state which was selected. So the first case will be select your district, which is the default text in the list. So in this case, we want the district adapter to be populated with our default text, which is select your district. So ArrayAdapter dot create from resource. Now here we cannot write this. Instead, we have to get the context of the parent since we are within the spinner. So we simply cannot just use this keyword here. So to get the context here, we are going to use parent dot get context. Then the name of the array, that is r.array.array underscore default underscore districts. Here we are just going to define select your district as the string. Then we need to specify the layout. This layout we have already created, so we can just simply go ahead and use it. Now let's get into the string resource file. We will create another string array. And this one is the array underscore default underscore districts. And the item under this will be select your district. Then after every switch case, we have to use break, and we have to use a default case also. So let's just define it. Now the rest of the cases we will define one by one, but just to check whether everything is working or not, we are just going to get out of the switch case and then set the adapter to the district spinner so that we can see if the district spinner is working or not. Alright, then restart your app. I think something is missing. Okay, so here's the problem. When we were finding the view for the district spinner, I have given the ID of the spinner of the states, that is spinner underscore Indian underscore states. So we have to change this. I don't know if you have made the same mistake, but here I'm going to write spinner underscore Indian underscore districts. Then restart your app, and you can see that. And now the by default select your state is there and select your district is there. So anyways, everything is fine till now. Now we have to define more string array for each state, which means we have to define the name of the districts according to their states. I have already saved this also, so I'm just going to copy and paste. As you can see, and for you, you can just download the file from the description of this video and copy and paste it. You can see we have the districts for different states. Now coming back to the main activity class. Now here we need to define the case for each states. Let's say second case is Andhra Pradesh, and also make sure that you do not make any mistake while writing the strings, otherwise your app won't work, or otherwise your spinner will not work. And from here we can just copy this entire district adapter and then change the name of the array to array underscore Andhra underscore Pradesh underscore districts. Now let's restart the app. Alright, then from the list, I'll just select Andhra Pradesh. And as you can see, the second spinner is populated with the names of the districts which belong to this state. Anyways, now I'm going to define for the rest of the states. So I'll do it quickly, but you can take your time and define for each state, or you can just download the code from the description of this video. Then I'll just restart the app. And as you can see, on selecting any state, the districts which belong to that state are displayed. I'll just increase the text size or the font size of the spinner from the spinner layout resource file. Alright. Now let's just obtain the name of the district which was selected from the list. For that, we are going to use the set on item selected listener with the district spinner. And under the on item selected, we just need to obtain the name of the district using get selected item. Then dot to string to convert it to string. All right. Now let's quickly define the button as well as the text view, and then refer to the view of the button in the layout file. Now we'll use the set on click listener on the button so that whenever the button is clicked, we can display the names of the district as well as the state selected, or use it in any way you want. Let's use if else statement. And to compare two strings, we need to use equals method. So if the selected state equals select your state text, that means none of the state has been selected. So in that case, we are just going to display one toast to let the user know that none of the state was selected. And let's make the length of this toast too long. Then dot show. Then we will set the error on the text view of the state. So TV state spinner dot set error, and the text that we want to display is state is required. And then we'll have to request the focus. All right. So as you can see, if we don't use the request focus, the text is not going to be displayed, or the error text is not going to be displayed with the text view. So for that, we will have to use request focus. And also we have to make these two text view focusable. So for that, let's just get into the layout file, activity underscore main. And here we need to define two properties. First is focusable, and here we'll set true. Then second is focusable in touch mode. This also needs to be true. Then copy these two properties and paste it in the second text view also. That is the text view which is for the district, and as well as the text view which is for the states. Then restart your app. And if you click on the submit button without selecting any state, you can see the error being displayed. Now, even after I have selected the state and I click on the button, the error is not vanishing, or the error is not going. So we need to take care of those case also. So let's use else if selected district dot equals select your district. And let me just copy paste this toast. Then let me set the error here. Now let's restart the app. And okay, if we click on submit button without selecting the state, it's showing the error. Now we have selected the state and click on submit. So now the error is on the district and the state as well. But in such case, since we have already selected the state, the error from the state should vanish. So we will take care of that case here. So we'll just set the error to null with the TV state spinner, which means the text view which is for the state spinner. Here we will set the error to null so that the error goes away from the state after we have selected a state. So let's just restart the app and see. Alright, the error is there and we select any state and then we click on submit. The error from the state has vanished now. The error is on the district now. Alright. Now let's have one more else statement. In this case, we'll just remove the error from the state as well as the district text view. And we'll just copy the toast. And here we'll just display the name of the state which was selected as well as the name of the district which was selected. \n is going to insert a new line. Alright. Everything is perfect now. You can go ahead and test the app. You can use these spinners in any way you want, or if you want to design them more, you can go ahead and do that. Like I'm just going to add one border around the spinner to make it look different from the text view. So for that, I'll just get into spinner layout and add one background. And here I will use at drawable /border. Then I'll get into the drawable folder and I'll click on new, and then I'll define a new drawable resource file. I'll give the name border. I'll just get rid of these two lines and I'll define a shape tag. Under this, let's have one solid. Here we will define the color. Then stroke. Stroke defines the border, that is the border has to be 1 dp wide and with the color dark gray. And then the corners. We want the corner to be little round, so we will use the radius as 5 dp. And you can restart the app and see the difference. Now everything is perfect. So if you like the video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And if you want to download the entire code, you can refer to my profile on GitHub. There you will find Android multiple spinner. Or if you want just to download the files that I have created, you can download them. The link is in the description. It will take you to Google Drive and you can download the files. They will have mainActivity.java and other files. And also if you open readme text, you can find the directory in which these files have to be kept so that there is no confusion. Alright, with this we have completed this video. If you have liked the video, don't forget to subscribe and click on like button. I'm going to see you in the next video. Till then, thanks for watching.